We welcome in the very great and well-known expert here on CBS 42, Sports Director Chris Breece.
You know the only drama with this whole thing? Where does the AU go in Omaha?
That's right.
Some say at the end, some are saying Omaha,
You're right.
AUHA. That's a big topic to me.
Regardless, a huge deal that the Tigers have made it this far. I think only the team in the dugout believed they could actually do
Pretty
it.
close.
I think we're all kind of shocked. I think Butch Thompson himself is shocked, pretty shocked as well. So tonight's first topic, hot topics here on CBS 42 Sports Sunday. Would Auburn fans rather win an SEC championship in the fall during the football season or national championships in both basketball and baseball?
In 1 year.
In the same
basketball
year.
and baseball in 1 year.
Yeah.
I think any fan base who would say they choose the football conference title over 2 national titles is very irrational, but I will say this. Auburn so desperately needs success in football right now solely because of Alabama and Nick Saban.
Sure.
They so desperately need it right now. I would say Auburn would choose the SEC championship in football because you know what? That means they're in the college football playoff.
Sure.
And right now that means everything to this team.
It means everything, and I could not agree more. I think football is the gospel here. Football is what matters in the South. Football is what matters to Alabama and to Auburn, and I think, like you said, they're so desperately in need of something positive with the football team, like we saw back in 2013, especially with under Gus Malzahn. I think they would do anything for that to happen, and I think that would even mean brushing aside a couple national championships with the other 2 main sports.
Think how ridiculous that
sounds crazy.
No one has ever won a national title in basketball and baseball in the same year. The 3 biggest sports that you have in college football, and you will choose to forego a title, and not just one, in both. But again, I think Auburn, this team is so desperate for something relevant in football. The win in the Iron Bowl 2 years was the best thing that's happened to this team in 6 years.
I agree. And hopefully, the success that we've seen from basketball and baseball this year will feed into recruitment and help the football team out. I know that sounds like you hear it pretty often. Oh, how does this help the school and the athletic program? But I truly believe in that. I think that school spirit, people wanting to come to Auburn, Alabama, and play whatever sport it is, I think other sports success feeds into other main sports.
It also puts the pressure big time on Gus Malzahn right now. Are you kidding me?
Absolutely.
Big time pressure after 2 teams having massive success.
It certainly does.
And big contract, feeling it.
All right, moving on. An athletic directors convention this past week, Big 12 Commissioner Bob Bowlesby says he believes all student athletes who want to transfer should sit out 1 year with no exceptions. The current rule in football, men's and women's basketball, baseball, and ice hockey is that athletes must sit out for 1 year unless they apply for a waiver from the NCAA. So do you think all transfers, Breece, should be required to sit out a year if they do leave the school?
I know you think that they should.
I do.
I'm going to argue otherwise, but I'm going to let you tell me why you think everybody should sit out.
Here's why, okay? Because this waiver situation has become absolutely ridiculous, and I'm not going to name any sort of specific names, okay? But you just look at this last football season and the certain players, some big name players, quarterback position, leaving programs. They cite a certain reason to the NCAA and it gets approved, but these reasons aren't legitimate reasons to be leaving the school. Most of the time it's because of lack of playing time or because they're not the #1 guy at that position at that school, whether it be in the SEC or otherwise. Now they're getting a waiver, they're going to the Big Ten, they're going to the Big 12, wherever it may be, and they're playing immediately.
That's one situation.
It's a lot of situations.
I don't think Tate Martell from Ohio State should be able to get a waiver. The Justin Fields thing from Georgia to Ohio State was even a stretch to me. But the question is all of them. So when Baylor's coach, Art Briles, has all of these massive bad things happen to him that he did to himself, if you're a player on that team, you say, okay, well, your coach is a scumbag. You have to sit out a year because your team's on probation for so many years. Same thing with Ole Miss. I think some situations are ridiculous. These hardships, it's a joke. But I think for players who have been promised something by a coach and something massively terrible happens outside of their control, I think they should be allowed to have it. But
here's a phrase you like to use, okay? Setting a precedent. I've learned more about that phrase from you than I have anybody in my entire career in television.
I'll take that as a compliment.
It is a compliment, actually. Fantastic,
but
boss.
The precedent's
you're
not
opening
about
the door and allowing people to make any sort of, oh, this is my reason.
But
this is my reason.
I think there's a line, though.
Okay, who draws the line?
The line needs to be somewhere. Did you really have a hardship? The hardship word is just irrelevant right now because there's no such thing when it comes to these people making these decisions. There needs to be a line. A player who wants to transfer, the line should be somewhere, hey, I didn't do anything wrong. I should be able to do whatever I want. playing time.
I think we
that's the
both
line.
agree that
That's
a
the line.
hardship is not playing time.
Hardship needs to be a stronger definition.
Certainly, and playing time is not that. You can't just up and leave because you're not the best. I mean, for goodness sake, what are we letting? Everyone gets a trophy. All right, on to another topic before this one gets too heated and hot topics now. It's been debated for a long, long time. The NCAA announced earlier this month that the men's three-point line is being moved back to the international basketball distance of 22 feet and 1¾ inches exactly. The rule will be effective this upcoming season, Division I. The reasoning behind this, the NCAA says, it would make players have to defend more of the court, and it would make the shot more difficult. I played college basketball. I've probably said that once or twice here on Sports Sunday. Is this a good move for college basketball? In my opinion, it's irrelevant, and it's much more difficult on the defender than it ever will be on the offense because they are shooting now. I mean, Jared Harper, he literally shot from the middle of the court.
We're talking about 1.5 feet back. Jared Harper was shooting those threes 3, 4, 5 feet back.
Exactly.
You're right about that. But I'm wondering if this is a psychological thing. Will they really take as many threes as, I mean, Auburn had more three-point attempts than every other team in the country.
Yeah.
The SEC was by a landslide. Is it going to be a mental thing where they say, well, I don't want to shoot the three here? I really do believe that it will cause less three-point shots.
I'm telling you.
But statistically, if you shoot less threes, you're going to make less threes.
Yeah.
So I think if they are going to look at it in terms of you shoot 18 threes a game versus 12, I think it could make some difference. But if you block that out of your mind, it'll make no difference.
All I'm going to say is, having played, when you're out there on the court, you're setting up for an offense and you're at the wing. You don't go, all right, here I am, 22 feet from the basket. Let me go right here. No. You line up on the other side of the three-point line, regardless of where it is, even if it's almost out of bounds, that's where you line up. That's what you do. So, again, like you said, it's going to be harder shot because it's longer, but we're seeing guys nowadays shoot the ball from practically out of bounds, and defending is going to be more difficult, though. I think it stretches the court. You have to go away from the basket more, so you're going to have a hard time getting to help side it easier. So, from a defensive perspective, it's going to be a lot more difficult. From a shooting perspective, I don't think we see any sort of difference.
If they would have made it the NBA three, maybe you can start to see a difference. But when it's that small, if guys are smart, they won't think about it. But if they do think about it, I think you're going to see a change.
Don't put too much thought into it. The NCAA maybe should be putting thought into some other things.